and Twitch. What is going on? We are 3 hours away from the draft. And I got some of my boys on here to talk about those lovely Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, though.
I guess I'll go first. I'll go first. It's my bad, Malik. But yeah, I am KD.
I'm Malik.
I'm Jay Lee.
Oh, go ahead. I'm Jeremy Johnson. How y'all doing?
And I'm Jay Lee.
All right. You got a chance. These are some of the guys. This is the first time I've done this with a lot of our these are some of my smartest Falcon fans in the world, man. We have so many Falcon conversations right now. So I guess the first question I want to ask y'all is how are y'all feeling going into this draft? Are y'all excited, nervous? Like, what y'all thinking?
Excited and nervous. I mean, I feel like you know how our fan base is. No matter who we pick, I mean, everybody's not gonna like it. So we might as well just get ready. So whoever it is, just be ready for the outrage.
I'm excited because I've been waiting for this for a minute now. I'm gonna be honest. Like, usually I kind of have like a feel of like where the Falcons are gonna go, but to this day, I still really don't know what they're gonna do. And I feel like a lot of Falcons fans don't really know that as well. Like, we really know the position, but we don't really know the player. Right now, we don't really know position or player. So, it's gonna be really exciting. I'm anxious to see who they go with tonight.
First time the Falcons have been in a power position in a draft in a long time since they drafted Ryan, maybe, or what is that? I guess the Vic Beasley draft was the last time they were in this position. So I think it's an opportunity for them to get a really good player and start to put the fourth pick has to be a guy that's a brick in a foundation. So hopefully that's what happens tonight.
All right, what about you, Jay? Might be trying to get this connection together. Can you hear us, Jay? All right.
Pour that holy water on that Wi-Fi.
I think you're trying to get his connection together real quick. But as you all know, we're going into this draft picking fourth. He'll be back. But we're going into the draft picking fourth overall. I wanted to, before I even get into what we think, I want to talk about what these mock drafts saying right now. Every one of them, with the exception of Sports Illustrated, have us going Kyle Pitts. How y'all feel about that?
I feel like the Kyle Pitts pick it signifies a win now move, in my opinion. So with that pick, I feel like they are shooting to win a Super Bowl within the next 3 years. And I feel like anything less than that will be a disappointment. So, and I've also been hearing rumors about trading Julio, which would not make sense if we do draft Kyle Pitts. So right now, I'm actually looking for them to pick Pitts because I believe all signs are pointing to picking Kyle Pitts. I would be surprised if we actually go quarterback at this point with all the reports out. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that they are going Kyle Pitts.
Oh man, Malik, you want to go first?
No, go ahead, bro.
I mean, I'm with Katie. I think they're probably going Pitts, and I think they would be wrong to do that. I mean, when you get a sub sandwich, unless you're vegan, what do you put on the sandwich first? The meat, right? So, I feel like Kyle Pitts would be like putting ranch on a really good club sandwich. So if you don't have any meat, and for in the Falcons case, they don't even have the bread. So basically, they're putting some ranch on some lettuce, and this is what's supposed to win the Super Bowl. So that's how I feel about it. I mean, you don't have anyone to protect Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan's also old. He's getting older. And, no disrespect to him. He's been a great quarterback, but you don't have a plan for him once he retires. And you want to trade Julio Jones. So how are you going to win without Julio Jones? So, I mean, it just doesn't make sense at all. I get Kyle Pitts is a really talented football player, but there are a lot of those in the NFL, and all of them didn't get picked 4th overall. So that's just where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I'm with Katie and Jeremy. I've seen the mock drafts, and it all leads to Kyle Pitts. I am real skeptical on the pick. I mean, they say that Pitts is a generational talent or whatnot, one of the best offensive talents in the game, I guess, next to Trevor. But the Falcons don't really need that right now. I mean, if we being honest, I understand the whole wait. I mean, taking the quarterback and you're not using them until 2 years later or whatnot. But I mean, at this point, what are the Falcons winning for? Like, what are they doing? I thought these dudes were brought in to do a full rebuild, not just try to get a player and try to win now. And I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I was a Matt Ryan stan for about maybe the first 12, 13 games of the season last year. I just didn't understand why people would just always bash Matt Ryan, because it seems like it's always a recurring thing. Every time the Falcons lose, always Matt Ryan's fault, and it was always never Matt Ryan's fault. But I think it was probably the Chargers game where I was just like, it's time, it's time. And I mean, I've stuck with it, and I've kind of been going back and forth. But at the end of the day, if this team wants to compete in the future, and instead of being mediocre for these 2 years, they got to think about the future now. And the future is trying to get a quarterback. So, I mean, Kyle Pitts is good, but I think he's a benefit for a team that's willing to win now instead of a rebuild.
Yeah.
I agree with everything that y'all said. But before I even give my opinion on it, let me go to these comments because the comments been going crazy since we first started. This is my boy Nick. He's in the bad league with me. He said, room full of Falcon fans. Of course. He's a Panthers fan, side note. My boy Kyrie, he's a Lions fan, said that we suck. You're right there with us, buddy. Just remember that. You're right there with us. And Tavius Hogan, what's going on, man? He said Kyle Pitts or Trey Lance is his pick. Our boy Jermaine said he needs Trey Lance. Let's see. JD said the biggest pick is 35th. They need a running back. That's a good. I agree with that. I don't disagree with that at all. Let's see. Myron said if we go Pitts, who do y'all think would be a good pick at quarterback in the later rounds? I'm not fired by anybody outside the top 5 quarterbacks. What you got? Before I even go into, what do you guys think about that question right there?
Davis Mills is going to be a steal. And he's an Atlanta kid as well. So that would be my guy.
I really don't know much about the other quarterbacks in the later round, so I couldn't even be of help with this. But
yeah, I mean, I'm hearing about like people like Mills and Kellen Mond. I've heard his name too. I've even seen some people mention Newman also, but I mean, any of those guys, they don't necessarily move the needle as a Trey Lance or a Justin Fields would. And in my mind, I just feel like especially if Justin Fields is sitting there at 4 and you draft Kyle Pitts, you better be sure that you are actually going to win something within the next few years.
I don't understand why the team would even be worried about winning anything when they had a Super Bowl one, and that was when all these players were in their primes, in their peaks, and they weren't making a ton of money. So, to me, the window is closed. I don't even know why that's even in a thought process for anybody at this point. Just because you're not protecting your quarterback. You don't have a defense. Like, you have no defense at all, and you don't have a running game. So if you need somebody that's going to carry you, then it's not like, that's not what Matt Ryan does, because he's not mobile enough to do that. And that's not a knock against him. He's been a great quarterback, and I think he's a Hall of Famer. He might not be first ballot, but he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's just not he doesn't have the athletic ability to carry you. So if you just think that, I mean, as a front office, if you evaluate your team and say, well, we can add Kyle Pitts and that'll be good enough, you're going to be rude. You're going to have a rude awakening, because one of these mobile guys could carry you, because that's what mobile guys do. Matt Ryan needs the team around him, and that's fine, but that's just the reality of the situation. So I mean, that's what scares me, is because they're, I thought this new group was coming in to rebuild. Like, I can't remember who said it earlier, but it was assumed that it was going to be a rebuild, and these guys are jumping in it like they're like coming off that year after the Super Bowl when they lost the Super Bowl. It's like, I could understand this if this was 2017.
To be honest with you guys, I don't understand why we're doing any of this with Kyle Pitts, because at the end of the day, like y'all just mentioned, I agree with all of y'all points. We haven't had a winning season in 4 years. So why are we even entertaining a Kyle Pitts at this point is beyond me. Because to be honest with you, and I got to get some more of these comments, because the comments are actually going crazy right now. But I don't even look at us as a dark horse team outside of the NFC playoff picture. To me, we were where our record was last season. I want to blow it up. I want to blow it up midway through last season, which is why I don't really have an issue with the whole Julio Jones trade talks or anything like that. But it's like, if you do take Kyle Pitts tonight, what you just said to me is you think that we are a tight end away from going back to the postseason. And do you really want to bank on that? Do you really want to throw another weapon there and say, oh my God, we have this Madden offense and nobody's going to stop it? Doesn't matter if we can't protect Matt Ryan. Doesn't matter if you don't have a quarterback learning up under Matt Ryan after this season, because if Kyle Pitt come out and be Kellen Winslow Jr., then you're going to have a whole different situation where you're going to say, oh my God, we passed up on a Justin Fields or a Trey Lance, because where we're sitting, at least 3 of the options might be out there, depending on what San Francisco do, or we don't know what one of them top 3 teams could potentially do. They could come out there and shop the whole draft. We don't know. I don't know. San Francisco, I know they're saying they're going quarterback. We don't know who's going to be left. I think the only thing that they would be, if I'm Atlanta, they better hope that Justin Fields is not on the board in the top 3. This fan base is going to riot if you pass up on Justin Fields at number 4. But let me go, Jay. So how are you feeling about the Kyle Pitts, the potential of Kyle Pitts being in Atlanta? How do you feel about it? I said we having technical difficulties. You might have to try on your phone. Let me tell him he had to try on his phone. Yeah, I think he has a couple technical difficulties. Let me get back to some more of these. Yeah, now we can hear you.
Y'all can hear me this time?
Yeah.
Y'all can't hear me?
Yeah, we heard we were hearing you. We were just waiting on you to talk.
Y'all can't hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. You good? We hear you. Well, as he try to get that together, let me see. Can we catch up on the comments real quick? Kyrie, he said that the Falcons need an offensive
Y'all
line 130. Now we can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. What was the question again?
The question was, how do you feel about the pundits leaning to us going Kyle Pitts? Where do you see that fitting for Atlanta short and long term? Oh, he got to kick his connections. Excuse his connection, everyone. He's trying to get it together right now. He made a try on his phone. But Kyrie said the Falcons need an offensive line, 130 sacks in 3 years, bottom 10 rushing attack. We don't disagree with that. We don't disagree with that at all. But I hope that's not to say that we're going to take Penny Sewell at 4 because I don't want that either. As solid as he is, this class is a little bit loaded for me. Oh God! If you catch up with the comments, there's so many comments on here right now. Another Falcon fan, what's going on, Julian? He said Kyle Pitts or Justin. I think that's kind of consensus for everybody. He said he wants to trade. I don't want to trade just to say we did, though. I respect that as well. Shaq Washington, what's going on, man? He said trade for Aaron Rodgers. So we're going to give up one old quarterback for another one? Nah, I don't want to do that one. I don't want to do that one. This fan base will ride on that, too. Oh, okay. So Antavius said Jamie Newman as an option as a backup. Let's see. Getting back to some more of these comments. Antavius also said Kyle Trask, he slipped. Shaq Washington said most successful quarterbacks were not first-round picks. What do you say, Jeremy?
That's not true. Tom Brady. That's where the list stops.
I'm trying to think. My boy David checked in with us. He said the Falcons can't stop Marietta High School.
They can't.
I'm glad he said that because
especially that offense they had a couple years ago with Eric Gilbert and Harrison Bailey. Them boys would have put up 50.
I'm glad he said that because I feel like we've been talking about the offense the whole time. The defense ain't worth much either. If we being honest, that's where they really need to focus. Mostly. I mean, who you still got Grady and Debo, and you got Terrell, but outside of that, like who else are you banking on to be that cornerstone for the defense? So if the Falcons go Kyle Pitts, they basically saying, shoot, we good on defense. We don't really need nobody else. I mean, unless they plan on going Pitts first round. I mean, I do expect them to go maybe running back second round, but shoot, after that, you gonna have to go defense for the rest of the draft if you really banking on it like that. So the defense really needs help.
I agree there. Kyrie said you don't pay back Ryan all that money, don't protect them. That's true too, but I mean, we're paying them all these years, we ain't protecting them now. I hope we figure it out in this draft. Let's see, man. I'm y'all just don't know how many calls.
It's not like they haven't tried to protect him in their defense. Like they have tried. They've drafted 3 guys in the first round, and
yeah, we had Lindstrom and Caleb. In the Panthers.
Matthews was a top 10 pick. So,
man, you can even go back right trading back into the first round when they got Sam Baker. I mean, they've been trying to protect Matt Ryan for years, and I mean, it just hasn't worked out. Other than that 1 year that you all know that I won't mention anything about, but yeah, it just hasn't worked out. And Matt Ryan is older now, and it just feels like we are at the end of the road with him. That's what it feels like to me, at the end of the road. So, I mean, Penei Sewell, I honestly wouldn't mind drafting him just because I feel like he'll be a pretty solid offensive lineman for years. But I mean, yeah, I think he'll be a solid lineman for years. But yeah, I mean, Matt Ryan he's just at the end of the road now.
Where would you play Penei Sewell?
See, that's the hard part because we already have you already have McGarry, you have Jake Matthews, so I guess you would just have to make a decision on if somebody's moving to guard but yeah, I don't necessarily know right now, but yeah, you just have to make a decision on who's moving to a different position.
Did they say they were starting Hennessy at center this year, or he's still a project?
That's a
I'm
good
not
question.
sure. I'm not sure.
I forgot all about him that fast. It's sad that you mentioned him. I forgot all about Hennessy. That's sad. I remember him Madden. I forgot all about him in actual life. Let's see. Antavius Hogan said, personally, Michael Parsons would be the best pick. I love Michael Parsons. I just don't know at 4. I love Michael Parsons, though. I really wanted Michael Parsons coming into last season, but just not at 4, man. I think honestly, him not playing due to COVID just kind of hurt him. I'm not saying that he's not a bad, that not a good player. I just don't feel like we got a chance to see what he really could have did with Penn State in 2020 because of what the world was going through. And get back to some of these
I remember
other
the mock
COVID.
drafts. Mock drafts, he was like early mock drafts. He was like what, top 5, top 10 pick.
Yeah, he was top
I know.
5
I
for
look
a
at the mock
long
drafts
time.
now. He's like in the 20. Like I've seen him being picked in the 20s and stuff. I'm like, dang, he really had a big drop off.
Well, he plays linebacker, and linebacker is one of those positions that you can find guys later in the draft. That, I mean, it's more of a fit situation than anything. Like you can't just, I mean, you could take a really good linebacker like Parsons, you can take him and put him in any system, and he'll be successful. But you can find guys that can do what you need late in the draft. So, like, I think his position is hurting him more than anything. It's like almost like running back. You don't want to draft one of those guys really high when there's a ton of them. So I hate that for him because he's a
Oh,
really good linebacker.
let's see, JD, this is a long comment. If I was Arthur Smith and I'm looking at the roster, I see that expression, Malik. You still have the offense who can put up 40 points with a suspicious defense. Kyle Pitts can eat up zone coverage. The patch on the offense is the running back. It calls a bad passing scheme. They are not talented players other than Patrick Surtain, in my opinion. Let me come back with this right here. Because as talented as this offense was, there was a lot of times late in the season where the defense was not the problem for the 2020 Falcons losing them football games. It's when you had a dumb offensive coordinator. Matt Ryan played bad down the stretch. I don't care what nobody say. I love Matt Ryan. Been a fan of Matt Ryan. He played bad down the stretch at the end of 2020. So what difference do that do for this 2021 team? Again, yeah, we got an offensive minded head coach, but do we know if they're gonna fit the scheme? It basically like you trying out for the new team because you don't know. Arthur Smith's gonna probably be like, man, I don't like this guy right here. The guy that TD kept around, he's not gonna keep around. So I don't know about that one, sir. Ty Ellison, what's going on, man? He said Parsons at 4. We just had this conversation. We just wanted to show the comment. And Tavy said Sewell is overrated. I don't know if I want to bank on that one, but I get what you're saying. JD said if Tom Brady can play at 44, Max not old. Sir,
Can I start a pot real
do
quick?
we have? Is it anything on this finger? Is it anything on this finger? We don't even have a 99-cent ring. And we talking about Matt Ryan playing at 44. Y'all go ahead, man. I can say nothing else about that.
So I just want to start a pot real quick. Just want to be a devil's advocate. So I mean, they bought Arthur Smith in. He's an offensive-minded coach, and I mean, we saw what he did with Ryan Tannehill. Basically, rejuvenated his career. And I mean, you can put that mostly on Derrick Henry being one of the best running backs, or you can put it on their offensive line. But do y'all think that, I mean, just with what y'all seen, what he did with Tennessee, he can at least get these last 2 years out of Matt Ryan and try to be competitive at least? Or do you guys think that's why they're going with Pitts?
Which one y'all want to go first?
I'll go.
Okay.
I feel like I think it'll work offensively. Like I feel like Matt Ryan could have probably a second or third best year. My issue isn't this year. Like I feel like this year though, if they get Pitts, I think Arthur Smith's creative enough to figure out how to get him in mismatches and how to do things with that offense that we haven't seen done since Kyle Shanahan left. But that's not my issue. It's just, after this year, then we're gonna see, and we start hoping again, and people like get on the Matt Ryan bandwagon again, and then he hits his wall. And you're right, Tom Brady can play at 44, but Tom Brady's ceiling is way. He was still ascending at 30, whatever Matt Ryan is right now. Matt Ryan is. I mean, I've seen it. Like he's physically starting to level off and going on the backside. You can't compare those two people because nobody works as hard as Tom Brady. That's just the truth. So, I mean, I think it'll work. I think it'll work for a year, and I think we'll be excited and we'll see some exciting stuff. But after next year, you're gonna be like, man, I really wish we had that quarterback now. So,
Yeah, I think it'll work for a year, maybe 2 years. I feel like Arthur Smith is a good play caller. If you know me, you would know that Dirk Cutter. I just feel like Dirk Cutter he's an old fashioned play caller. He's always had terrible running games historically, no matter where he's been. So I think Arthur Smith could definitely fix the run game. I think our offense will be better. I think we might even make the playoffs 1 or 2 years. But I mean, going back to the Tom Brady is 44 and he's still playing thing. I mean, Tom Brady is Tom Brady. I mean, Matt Ryan is Matt Ryan. They're two different people. Tom Brady is one of the greatest to ever play, and I do think Matt Ryan is a future Hall of Famer. But I agree with Jeremy. You can see where Matt Ryan is kind of starting to level off. You can see him declining. Even if you feel like the numbers don't say that, if you watch his play on the field, you can kind of tell he doesn't have as much zip on his balls, and he just, he's just declining and only getting older. So that's how I feel about it.
Okay. Oh, I'm asking that question now. So as far as I'm not trying to knock Matt Ryan, but at the end of the day, Tom was in a solid system for a very, very long time. He was a solid quarterback, still is a solid quarterback. However, the biggest problem is, as they mentioned, you have seen Matt start to fall off. I do think he's good enough to still give us another year, maybe two, depending on if they decide to keep him. Because I'm not going to take anything out of context and say that next year maybe his year that he get traded. Because at the end of the day, the comment I've got right here below, as Young Coming from YouTube said, Tannehill had a 33 touchdown, 7 interception season. Do I think Matt is capable of having somewhat near it? Possibly. Matt's done it before, and I think this offense actually is going to cater to him having a pretty good year. But this is the tricky thing that the Falcons are in. So basically what the Falcons are saying, if they take Kyle Pitts, is coaching was the issue in 2020. The talent wasn't. And if we somehow was to be a wild card team next season, then we find ourselves in another predicament where the Falcons might have a low seed wild card team. So now what do? You can't move on from this guy if we come out and go 9-7, 10-6, and find ourselves in the wild card round. So it's like it's one of the tricky situations because you want to get your next guy in here because as you saw, 2018 with Drew Brees, they had a great 13-3 campaign, but you saw Drew Brees declining in that season. And the frustrating part about it for the New Orleans was when Teddy had that 5-game stretch after Drew Brees got hurt, you saw him continue to decline. But at the end of the day, they were still winning because the roster was that good. It wasn't because of Drew Brees. So that's the situation that we're kind of falling into, is you're getting the talent around them, but if anything, that put more pressure on Matt Ryan in 2021 than anyone else, because now looking at everyone else, you're going to say, yes, you got to get your offensive line together, but you got all these weapons around you. There's no excuse why you shouldn't do A, B, C, D, and E. It may not be that way for the national media, but for our fan base and locally, that's what they're going to be looking at. They're going to look at the pieces on the field rather than anything else. Let me go to these comments real quick. And Tavia said that Matt is the Russell Westbrook of the NFL.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, triple doubles.
That's a good
I
question.
guess.
Let's see.
Stat pattern, I guess.
Dion Jamar said Matt Ryan don't have that dog in him. I think he doesn't have it anymore. I think at one point he had it. I think that error has
Get the F
kind of
off my
faded out
field.
for him.
Remember that?
Let's see, Cal. Hold on, I'm get the comment up here. My bad. Callum said, where do you see Devontae going top 10? I see him being outside the top 10, potentially. I see him outside the top 10. What y'all see? Y'all
Definitely
think he's out
outside
top
the top.
10?
Yeah, I think Jamar Chase will probably be the first wide receiver off the board. And as far as Devontae, yeah, definitely outside the top 10. Probably still first round though, but yeah, outside top 10.
I think 12 to the Eagles is where I would about right where I think he would go.
Yeah,
I'll
I
say
agree.
Eagles too. I think he'll go Eagles.
Let's see. He was a wins max contract, and I think it's 2023. All I know is this: I don't want him on the roster in 2023. I can deal with him this upcoming season, maybe 2022, but he got to be gone in 2023, or we got to have somebody in here if we don't do it in this draft right here. Let's see. Deion Jamar said, "Do we need Kyle Pitts though?" I'm gonna let them chime in on. I'm gonna go ahead and get mine out the way. Me personally, no. You just traded a second round pick for Hayden Hurst last year. So what's the purpose of taking another tight end in the first round? It's just dumb to me. Of what is this? Is you trying to run a two tight end set? What are we, the Patriots? We're trying to be Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. Like I'm not understanding the purpose. I get he's a generational talent, but at number 4, I don't know about that. I know it's a lot of folks they're in love with it. They're like, oh man, Kyle Pitts is amazing. We're gonna be like this. I truly feel this way before I turn over to them. We have 3 different type of fans. We're all kind of on the same page that the Falcons need to go ahead and start transitioning toward the future. But you got your guys here right now, but start making picks that's gonna benefit you in the post Ryan Julio era. Then you got your fans that want to blow everything up and don't have no game plan in place. They just say go get a black quarterback. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Go ahead and get a black quarterback, Trey Lance or Justin Fields, and just throw everything else out the window. Then you got your other fan base who, no disrespect to anyone that's on here watching, it's a couple of you, no disrespect to you guys, but it's a couple of fans that's looking at the glass half full that, hold on, before I even get into that, who would you rather have, Kyle Pitts or Hayden Hurst? No, sir, buddy, we're not doing that conversation right here, right now. I don't care about that. I care about winning football games. We have 2 tight ends to go 2-14. Then I want to hear a conversation about next season. But back to what I was just saying. I don't want to find ourselves. We have a fan base. The other portion of the fan base, they're looking at the fact that we blew a lot of leads. So they're like, if we didn't blow this lead and that 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 lead, we could have been an 11-5 football team in 2020. No, sir, buddy. We were 4-12 for a reason. Let's leave that. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. I don't care what our talent was. We were 4-12. But I'm gonna let you guys get into that. I just had to get that out of the way real quick.
I don't really have a. Of course not. Of course they don't need Kyle Pitts. I mean, like I said earlier, it's just ranch on lettuce at this point for me. But I just find it funny how much people like the national media is hyping Kyle Pitts. I'm just ready for them to flip on the Falcons when they do pick him. When they turn the pick in, watch how the narrative goes from, oh, Kyle Pitts is this great pick to what are the Falcons doing? Why would they need him? But y'all said he was generational, and that was where everybody mocked him. I feel like the Falcons have been brainwashed into wanting him because of what they've seen on TV. So, I mean, I just think that's gonna be funny. I really do think that's just I'm ready for that. I'm gonna be recording. If I hit y'all up and text y'all and y'all see that's what I'm talking about. Cause like all week I've just seen like people just like, oh my God, Kyle Pitts he can play basketball too. I'm just like, okay, he only caught 43 passes. Like, I mean, I know a lot of them were touchdowns, but like 43 passes, like that's not special. I mean, I don't know. No disrespect to anybody that plays tight end, but you can find like Gronk was a second round pick. Aaron Hernandez was a second round pick. Travis Kelce went what, the fifth, fourth round? George Kittle was a fifth round pick. Jimmy Graham didn't even play football until NFL, so until college. So like Greg Olsen was a late first round pick. Like you go down the list of good tight ends, and none of them were like picked that high. Vernon Davis was picked what, sixth? He was okay for a few years, and he was the biggest freak athlete we'd ever seen.
Hey, add it to your point real quick before they turn over them. This is a great comment that Kyle Pitts isn't a great generational talent. We already seen a bad version because mentioning what you just said, Darren Waller was a receiver out of Georgia Tech who was on Baltimore squad. He wasn't hitting on anything. Turned over the tight end, became a really solid tight end for Oakland, Vegas. But yeah, I agree with Zach. I'm gonna let y'all continue. I had to put that in there. Shout out Kyrie.
Of course, we don't need Kyle Pitts. We don't necessarily need him. As Nate mentioned, we traded a second round pick for Hayden Hurst already. Then if we come into this draft and pick Kyle Pitts at 4, that's a first round pick and a second round pick, both on tight ends. I don't think tight end necessarily moves the needle. It really doesn't matter if he's a generational talent or not. You could even go look at Tony Gonzalez's years in Kansas City. He had to come to Atlanta to even win a playoff game. In all those years, he was mainly considered the best tight end in the NFL. So I say, no, we don't need Kyle Pitts. I mean, he would be a weapon, of course, but I mean, I could also say that Hayden Hurst could have his best year in the NFL simply because Arthur Smith is good with managing tight ends. So, no, we don't need Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, I'm going to continue to say saying that Katie and Jeremy, they said they don't need Kyle Pitts. I mean, I know what they do need. They need another quarterback on the roster. Because if I'm not mistaken, is Matt Ryan not the only? He's still the only quarterback on the roster, right? Where's the backup? They cut their backups. Matt Schaub retired. He said me. Jeremy said me. But
Matt Schaub was still a stimulus money.
He said he was a stimulus. But yeah, so I mean, like the offense, we've all known the Falcons' offense has always been good. Like, I mean, even when they picked Calvin Ridley, that was a surprising pick to me. I didn't really think they needed Calvin Ridley then. I didn't think they needed to go wide receiver in the first round. I'm pretty sure a lot of people were shocked when they went Calvin Ridley first round because they had already seen what Julio was doing in Sanu. I'm not sure if Gabriel was gone by then or whatnot, but they were still a good offense, and they were running with That's when Austin Hooper was starting to get into his own. So, and look, nobody expected Austin Hooper to be that good. Like, you don't really have to get a generational tight end because it just depends on system. It depends on the system. Nobody talked about I can't really pronounce first name. It's probably Jonnu Smith, dude from the Titans. Like, nobody was really talking about him until Arthur Smith got his offense going, the scheme going, and he blew up. So, I mean, you don't really need these big name guys or whatnot. All you need is a really good scheme and a couple of solid players, and you'll be good. Like, they don't need a generational offensive player. They need a quarterback.
They can use a generational quarterback.
Very true.
Let's see. Kyrie said generation talent matters, KD. He's not. I think he was saying that about a tight end, not so much on the generational talent in general, because we would have loved to be in this position last year and get Chase Young. I think all the guys agree with that. Let me go to some of these other comments real quick. JD said, wrong, Nate. Atlanta should have been 11-5. I just said this. No, we were not an 11-5 football team last season. Do you need me to go down all 7 losses that you want to talk about? We didn't get in the end zone against the Saints. the onside kick in Dallas, the blown lead against the Bears and the Bucks. We let Matthew Stafford drive the field with no time. I was like, this was Madden. It is one more. The Chargers game where Matt threw that idiotic interception at the end of the game. And did we mention the Chiefs game? That's 8 games right there. So basically, you're saying that we're supposed to have been a 12-4 football team by your calculations? No, sir, buddy. No. And I'm not going to count the Dan Quinn game because Dan Quinn supposed to be fired after the Dallas game. I was proud of that loss. That's one of the Falcon losses that I was very proud of as a fan. Let's see. He also said it's not where you go, it's who you draft. I get exactly what you're saying on that too. I do. Let's see. Tyler has said y'all don't need Pittsburgh. That's who you're going to take. Listen, I think we all have mentally prepared ourselves for Kyle Pitts being a Falcon, unfortunately. So it's not even going to anger us. I don't think as much as it probably would have a week or two ago. Shaq said, got to trade Julio June 1st. Do y'all agree?
Nah.
Depends on who they draft. Depends.
That's true as well.
If they get Kyle Pitts, I mean, there's no point in trading Julio to me because that's you going all in. And if you're gonna go all in, you might as well trade up for Najee Harris too, and get your running back. And you go on. If you're gonna go all offense, go all offense. Go in. But if you don't do nothing. That's how you get beat. So,
what do y'all think Julio? What do y'all think the Hawks? I mean, not the Hawks. I'm sorry. The Falcons would get in return for Julio though. Like, what's a good price?
if I was the Ravens, I would give those the late 2 first-round picks in the first round. I would take that. I don't know if they would do that, but because I don't think you could say, hey, give me your pick next year. I think because of how close the picks are, I think that's like a first and a second, basically. So 5th round pick, disrespectful.
Wow, 5th round pick for a generational wide receiver. Wow.
Didn't the Rams give up 3 first-round picks for Matthew Stafford?
The Rams gave the whole church for Matthew Stafford.
Oh man, that's disrespectful.
Let's see. Dick said that Sertan or Horn at 4. No, that's too high. Way too high. If we trade back, cool. But no, that's too high. Because he said AJ Terrell's a rookie. He was a rookie. And trust me, AJ Terrell was better than every corner on this squad. Do we have corners? We have Burnt Toast Isaiah Oliver, Bleeding Ray Wilson. He must know somebody. That's supposed to be somebody homeboy on the team. Because that man stay on the roster forever.
The delusional Falcons fans coming in the comments now. I can see.
Let's see. Terrell's a rookie. Gives time to learn. Yeah, great point. And he had a good end of the year, and he was like, so was Randy Moss. That's a whole different ball game. I don't know how in the world that played out. That's back in 2005. I don't think that would happen in 2020. He said, just go first and second on offense. We need to find the hate in the style. The needle stack for edge rushers. I'm not trying to go offense first and second. I'm sorry. I do one or the other. Because you don't know who may slip into the second round tonight.
I mean, I'll say this, though. To his point, I think that this class isn't a great class of edge rushers. So I don't know that there's a big difference between what you get in the second round and what you could get in the 3rd or 4th round. Just because the two Miami guys would be the guys that I would lean towards. Azeez Ojulari, probably late 1st round. And then after that, you got a bunch of guys. You know what I mean? They all are pretty much the same people. So I'm trying to think of who would move the needle for me, but to that, his point, I could see that being a comp because Najee Harris and Travis Etienne, Javonte Williams and Michael Carter are here in the running back class, and then you got a good little fall off before you get to Trey Sermon and Keith Kenneth Gainwell to me. So
I do agree with that. Oh, that's a good question. What defensive players are you all interested in if you don't take offense? I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm sad that we're not gonna have a late first. Cause I would love to have Ojulari here as a Falcon, but that's just a Georgia Bulldog to me. I'm gonna let y'all answer that one though.
If we were to trade back, definitely one of those cornerbacks, definitely like a Horn or PS2 or Patrick Surtain the second. Definitely a corner for me if we were to go defense and we were trading back.
I'm gonna definitely go Surtain if we trade back. If they traded back, I'll definitely go Surtain. Because like Nate said earlier, what cornerbacks, what secondary in general do the Falcons have right now besides Terrell? I mean, I know they signed some players earlier in the off season, but like they're not really moving the needle, like KD says, and they're not really moving the needle for me as well. So I think Surtain would come in and be pretty solid, but I'm being honest. Like the past 2 years, I've been tired of just seeing bad secondary play. Like it's been really rough to see Isaiah Oliver. You think that he's growing. They talk about him every time in training camp. Like, oh, he's doing good. He's doing better. And he gets on the field week one, and it's just the same thing we've seen the past couple years. Like he just hasn't grown. And everybody was high on Sheffield. He doesn't look like that player that everybody expected him to be. I mean, Darqueze Dennard was solid when he was playing, but I'm looking for young guys. I'm looking for young guys to come in and step in and do something. So I think Surtain would be a good pick if they traded back.
Yeah, for me, it would be probably either Surtain or Horn in the first round. But if we're talking just defensive players throughout the draft, I really like Richie Grant from UCF. I really like Jamar Johnson out of Indiana, safety. And I really like Richard LeCount out of Georgia. So those are three guys that should they get them second to third, fourth round, those guys could play right away. Those are guys that could actually have an impact on the secondary and be upgrades over the guys they have now. So,
All right, let's see. Shaq said, man, best trait in a player availability. Julio physical game caused him to get hurt. He's used the wrong way. If you're rebuilding, get all you can for Julio now because you won't get anything for him next year, specifically, especially if he gets hurt. I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Julio's hurt right now. We just don't know it yet. Julio's hurt at the draft. So, it is what it is. Let's see. Antonio Hogan said, unless they are picking Chase at 4, there's no way they're trading Julio. I'm not picking Jamar Chase at 4. Let's see.
Hey,
Brandon,
knowing
what's
the
going
Falcons,
on?
though, you never know.
Don't hurt my feelings right now. Brandon Abernathy, what's going on, bro? He said, as far as the backup, if we don't go to top at number 4, Bond or Trash, I agree with either or. I wouldn't be against either or being a potential option.
I would take Trask.
Let's see. So you got to go running back second round. We need a running back. I'm sorry, second has to be running back. Do we really need a running back in the second round? Because we found Devontae Freeman in the fourth and found Coleman in the second or third. Was this the third round? So you don't necessarily need a running back there that early. So let's see. Caleb Farley may fall back with his issues. Yeah, that's going to be intriguing to watch tonight to see how far he falls back. Let's
He also
see.
has a back injury or something that they found
Yeah.
during his medical that's going to make him drop too. So,
This is one of these comments. Oh, let's see. Shaq said, Fabian, stay healthy. He might be okay for y'all. I'm interested to see what he's going to look like. Armand, what's going on, bro? He said, Kenneth Sheffield. Woo, child. Good luck with him. Ohio State fan. Quarter schedule. What's going on, cousin? She said, we need somebody young, not Surtain. Let's see. She said, Trey Julio. Curry said that Mon sucks. Oh, and that Trask has more upside. And Tavius Hogan said, we do need a running back because the 2 running backs you just named did what? Listen, I don't think we're coming out of this draft without a running back. I just think it's depending on where we go because, again, y'all got to pay attention to see who falls tonight. Somebody's going to fall. It happens every year. Somebody's going to fall at some point in the draft. The question is, who's going to fall? Let's see. JD said again, it's not where you go, it's who to draft. You can't miss on. Yes, you absolute. Let me go. Excuse me for a second. Let me go ahead. Let me say this real quick. You can miss on both of those guys if you want to. If there's a better talent in the second round, I don't care about Etienne or Najee Harris. Who said they're going to be on the board tonight? Because I'm starting to see Etienne jump up into the 20s, potentially to Pittsburgh and even Najee Harris. So one of these guys may not even make it to second to tomorrow night, to be honest with you. So again, as I just mentioned, did we not draft Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman in later rounds in the first two? We had a number one, no shot at this man right here because we're Bulldog fans here. But y'all wanted Todd Gurley 6 years ago. We got the Dollar Tree version of Todd Gurley, and that didn't work out. So, you guys trying to do this again? You trying to go take a running back early, that early? Then you're going to say, oh, we missed. Oh, we missed. Oh, we missed. I'm not trying to hear that. Get what you can get now. Let's see. Armand said it's going to be fairly. I could see him fall. I definitely see him fall tonight. My cousin said, "Get Aaron Rodgers. We can't do that. We can't even afford to do it."
She going off.
Let's see.
She going off.
Oh yeah. Tevin said Fields is not there for a trade back. Go first round Parsons, second to Asante Samuel Jr., third round Trey Sermon. I would love it if it falls that way. That would be awesome. Brandon says salvation not retired. Look, man. My cousin said, I just want a Super Bowl ring. That is the number one factor right there. We definitely want a Super Bowl ring. JD said, remember what I said about DeAndre Swift and Jonathan Taylor? Yes, they worked out for their teams. That's good for them. But I know what we need. But yeah, guys, this has definitely been fun to talk about. I can't wait. I can't wait to get a chance to do a post game. I can't wait to get a chance to do a post game conversation with these guys. Are y'all down to come back and do a post draft talk about this?
For sure.
Probably gonna be crying by then. So.
He said I'll be crying. Hey, Jeremy, you gonna be listening to Ron Wayne?
Yep. Heart been broke so many times. I don't know what to believe. I wear my heart on my sleeve.
Oh, it's before we hop off here. They just said we're about 3 to 4 years out from a ring with our captain descendant players. That's an interesting take.
If they draft Kyle Pitts tonight, you can take that 3 to 4 years and multiply that by 2. 6 to 8 years because no, I'm serious. Because you got
10 years.
I'm gonna lay this out for you. Look, okay. They're not winning it next year. They might make the playoffs, but they don't have the roster to win a Super Bowl. Cool. They had a great defense. They didn't have a great defense, but they had a lot of talent. They created turnovers the year they lost the Super Bowl. These guys are nothing like that. So they can't win a Super Bowl this year. Okay, cool. That year's out the book. Okay, next year, they're going to be in the transition period, and I could see that being a really bad year where everybody that's been a superstar in Atlanta just hits their wall. Like, if we got Julio still, boom, that's when his production go down. Matt Ryan, boom, that's when his production. Jake Matthews, all of a sudden, boom. Okay, picking in the top 15 again. That's another year out the window. You can't get a quarterback in 15, not in next year's class. Okay, boom, you go suck the next year with a backup or a Ryan Fitzpatrick or somebody at quarterback. Okay, boom. That's another year wasted. Now we're in 2023, 24? You picking top 3, top 4. You get a quarterback, the kid from Clemson. Great. Got the kid from Clemson. Now y'all waste a year waiting on him to grow up. Okay, boom. Now we 2024? Now you got some cap space. Oh, but now it's time to pay Kyle Pitts. Oh, boom, another cap. Now we in another cap situation. It's a cycle,
To add to your
It's
point,
never ending cycle. Never ending.
hey, to add to your point, thanks to our former tight end Austin Hooper, the tight end market gonna be even crazier in 3 to 4 years from now. So that's a whole different
somebody
ball
got
game.
the roller. So
Let's see. Hey, shout out to my boy Kyrie. He said Jeremy Smart got real. Hey, that's why he's on here. That's why he's on here. Let's see. Kyrie said if they call what if I say what he's saying, they call it hating. Sir, you're not a Falcons fan. So everything that's gonna be said by you might be considered hating. Unfortunately. Arbon said I'm gonna pray for y'all Falcons fans. Dude, keep us. Jesus, take the wheel and drive fast. Let's see. Rob Scandler said, hear me out. If they got rid of Julio for some young receiver with potential and possibly another high draft pick, would you not be interested? Just curious of your thoughts. What's going on, cousin? You came in kind of late. Yeah, I don't think we would be against that. As far as getting a younger receiver with potential and getting some draft picks in replacement of it, because I think that's the ultimate goal for these guys. So, no, I don't think any of us are against it. JD said quarterbacks.
Yo, shout out to JD for stirring the pot all episode. I really enjoy that.
You want me to take this one?
Yes, because I'm gonna rant. So you go ahead.
Okay, let me go ahead and say this. JT Daniels is not Trevor Lawrence. That's it. That's
He's not hearing it. You know, that's the tweet. That's it.
There and then this point right here about quarterbacks come out every year. That doesn't really matter. There's been plenty of quarterbacks come out in the first round and be absolutely terrible. I mean, you can go down the list. You can go look at previous years. I mean, Jared Goff's in Detroit now. Just think about. Let's go back 5 years ago. The two top quarterbacks no longer are on their same team. Wentz is in Indy. Oh boy is in where did he go to? Oh boy is in where's Jared Goff? He went to Detroit. He's over there with Kyrie. You take good care of him, Kyrie. 17. You saw Mitch Trash Trubisky get picked before Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. These guys are in solid positions, and Mitch Trubisky is over there taking a great value contract as a backup quarterback in Buffalo, if I'm not mistaken. So you want to just go out here and just say quarterbacks take it? You can take quarterback every year. So if Matt Ryan go out there and throw bad Ryan Fitzpatrick numbers or Jameis numbers, are we gonna have the same conversation next year? Or are you gonna say we're still close to being 11-5 next season? That's all I want to know. That's the topic for another day. Let's see. Xavier said just trade back and get Najee and Trash, and they can go heavy on defense.
No. Hey, they going to walk Terry and Arthur out the door if that happens. Come on, right after the second pick.
Kyrie said, well, JD has a point. It's always a new quarterback, bro. That's nice. That's awesome to know. Quarterback's going to come out every year, just like a kicker going to come out every year, just like a punter's going to come out every year. That's nice. That's very nice to know. That's awesome. Go quarterback.
Wait, who's Kyrie's favorite team?
He's a Detroit Lions fan.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
That's the topic for now. Quarterbacks always come, but with the guys that I know I see you mentioning Josh Allen and Mahomes. But the issue is with those guys those classes had pretty decent quarterback play. That's the thing. I don't know. We got to see what 2021 would look like for these guys. But let me see if Jeremy can come back. Because we can get ready to wrap this up because I know you guys are getting ready to mentally prepare for this draft.
We ready.
Anything you want to say before we get ready to sign off?
look, it's been a long time coming. It's been a long time coming. I am excited again. I mean, I'm pretty sure I already know what the Falcons are going to do. I mean, it'd be a surprise if they did something else, but like we've all said so far, it looks like the pick is going to be Kyle Pitts. So, I mean, Falcons fans, just brace yourselves. You already know what's coming. You don't have to have any expectations. You already know what's coming. So don't even be too high. Don't get too low. Stay neutral.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly, unless something dramatic happens in the next 2 hours, I think it's going to be Kyle Pitts as well. Am I sold on it? No. But I think it's looking like all signs are pointing to Kyle Pitts. I would love for them to shop me and take a quarterback to learn up under Matt Ryan, but I also think they'll probably go in the second round and get a quarterback. But I do think all signs at the moment is pointing to Kyle Pitts being a Falcon. And again, you'll get a chance and for all of you that's watching, I'm going to be back on here in about an hour and a half for a live draft show. So if you want to time in when your team picks, you can hop on. I give you a couple of minutes so you can talk about your team, get a chance to see your opinion on it. But I'm going to tell you the number one thing that you got to do on this show, you got to keep it clean. Now, you can do all the cussing you want to. You got to do all the cussing you want to behind the scenes, but not right now. But again, everybody's tuned in. If you want to hop on here, I'm going to have the link posted. I'm going to have the link posted on Facebook. I will post it on YouTube and Twitch as well. So you just let us know when you're ready to jump on. We're going to add you on and looking forward to talking to you guys. But I will have these guys back with me to do a post-draft show. We're going to have a couple other guests that are big time Falcons fans. Unfortunately, Jay Lee's connection didn't benefit him today. He really had some great stuff to say on here. I hate to get a chance to. Hopefully, we can get him on during the actual draft. But Malik and Jeremy, man, thank y'all so much for coming on here. And again, I'm having y'all back on here.
Thanks for having us, bro. Appreciate that. Been waiting to get on one of these.
Yes, sir. No problem at all. But for everyone, y'all get some food in y'all system. Let's get ready for this draft. Y'all have a good one, and I'll be back on in about an hour, y'all. Y'all have